Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the special delivery show, 1 year anniversary edition. Oh yeah, it's yours truly, the Emmanuel, host and creator. You're in for a treat, starring Hakeem Abdul Samad from The Boys, Jacqueline Bryant, Tahja Norman, J. Anthony Frankie from California Dreams, Tartisha Bryant Barnes, and Judd Winick. The special delivery show, 1 year anniversary edition, has been sponsored by Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast, either using your smartphone or your computer. Go to Anchor FM for more details. And viewers and listeners, of course, like you. Holla.
Hey, Emmanuel, I want to wish you a congratulations and happy anniversary, your 1 year anniversary to the special delivery show. We think you're doing a wonderful job. It is excellent. Your entire family is so very proud of you. We enjoy the special people that you have on your special delivery show. You do it with such excellence, and you are like no other with the in-depth questions that you ask and present to the guests on your show. It is awesome. We wish you much more success. Keep up the excellent work. We love you. Special delivery. Take care of TCV. Special delivery. Hey! Hey! Love you, man.
Hey, this is J. Anthony Frankie with a shout out to the special delivery show. Emmanuel, happy anniversary. Hello, everybody out there. Hope this is a special one and enjoy. Again, happy anniversary, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Peace, it's Hakeem from The Boys. Songs like Down My Heart, Lucky Charm, A Little Romance. We just want to wish Emmanuel and the special delivery show a happy 1 year anniversary. Bless up! Boo, 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 boo!
Up, everybody, it's the one and only your girl Tahja Norm, and I wanted to shout out the special delivery show, and I wanted to wish them a happy 1 year anniversary.
Congratulations, Emmanuel, for your 1 year. Woo, 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 woo. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. So may God bless you with many more years with the special E.
What's up, everybody? This is indeed the Emmanuel, like feeling, sing like Bob Dylan, keep it on over some double stuff Oreos. And right now, this is, of course, the anniversary show right here. I'm about to be chatting with somebody who was actually my second guest on December 19th. And incredible young lady. So from Jersey, which is awesome. And also, she has her own podcast. She has 2 books out. She's a poet. She's a recent graduate of Bowie State. Am I saying it wrong? Bowie
No, you
State.
got it.
I got it?
Yeah.
Bowie State University. Recent graduate, awesome young lady. Mrs. Tahja Norman is in the house. What's up, Tahja?
What's up?
Hi, how are things in Jersey?
It's pretty good. I can't complain.
Good. You know, I really miss White Castle. Even though I don't eat red meat anymore, I still like the milkshakes, the chocolate milkshakes. They're so thick, and I like the surf and turfs. Yeah, the surf and turfs. I like those. But anyway, not to get off subject. I want you to tell people, because like I said, when we did our interview, unfortunately, because of a mishap, we didn't get it recorded. So this is a great time for to catch up on stuff. She has a book out right now called A Glimpse of Her World.
Yes.
Ooh. Great poet. And you got a podcast called The Flourishing Footprints. Now, if you could tell people about that, what is this? The Flourishing Footprints. Can you tell us about your podcast?
Yes, The Flourishing Footprints is my podcast. It airs a brand new episode every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's my way of doing motivational speaking on the Anchor app. And I also aired on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so many others. And I reached listeners worldwide. I just reached a milestone of 1,700 plays. So I was super excited about that. Thank you. And it's really just a way to give back for like the mentorship that I received growing up. And that really led me to where I am now. So I just wanted to give that back as like a gift. And I love it. It's so much fun just coming up with different ideas. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah, yes, I'm very happy for you. I tell you, being in the podcast thing myself, where it's difficult for to grab the attention of viewers, because there's so many things out here that's trying to grab their attention. You're competing with Netflix, Disney Plus, and of course the plethora of other podcasts that are out there. So I commend you for that. You know, keep going strong with that, and congratulations on your milestone. That's awesome. So also you're an actress too, because you were in a Christmas movie with Bill Bellamy. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so my professor at Bowie State University had plugged me with that opportunity, and she was just saying, do you guys want to be an extra in the movie? And I'm like, yeah, why not? So I had drove up to Maryland, and I was on the set for one day as an extra, and I was just in a few scenes, and it was a lot of fun just being there. And it was just like a refreshing experience just being on set. It was something different. So just definitely had to get.
Excellent. And I've too done extra work in the past. I tell people it is a long day. I didn't expect it, but it was like but it was a long day, but I learned a lot. I got a chance to see actor Reg E. Cathy. Unfortunately, he passed away a few months ago. I think it was actually last year. But it was a great experience. It taught me, just to be on the set of something like that, of a major something. It was called Outcast. It was on Cinemax, but it's no longer in existence. I wanted to know too, how Christmas is coming up.
Yes.
And it's around the corner. And I get it. This year is just flew by. I don't know. It's like, it's crazy. What are your plans for Christmas? And even how was your Thanksgiving? How was that?
Thanksgiving was really nice. I unplugged from social media and really just lived in the moment with my family and relaxed. Just a much needed rejuvenation time with good food. And it was just lovely. I can't really say much else about it. It's lovely. And as far as Christmas, what I'm looking forward to is, I don't really have any plans. I'll most likely just be home with my family. But I feel like I kind of hit that age where I don't really look forward to Christmas anymore. But as long as I have a good Christmas dinner and I'm just home relaxed, and that's all that matters to me, just all my family being united.
Absolutely. I'm the same way when it comes to Christmas. I don't ever expect to get anything anymore. If I do, I'm just like, I'm satisfied with just some extra socks and some extra drawers. I say it out loud. I don't care. There's nothing like a new pair of drawers and some socks, especially when they come out the dryer after you finish washing them and it's warm.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I mean, what is something you always wanted for Christmas as a kid, but you probably never got?
$1 million.
Of course. Of course, man. Oh my gosh. Man, that was really nice. I always wanted this is telling my age. I've always wanted a Snoopy snow cone machine. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I know Snoopy.
You do? Okay, yeah. I always wanted that, and I always wanted a pair of freaky gloves, which especially living in New Jersey, it's super cold and a lot of snow, but the gloves you put on and they change the change image. The color, the image changes it with the code, which is, I thought as a kid, I thought that was amazing,
Yes.
So yeah. Oh, speaking of family, how was your mom?
She's good.
Yeah. Her mom, folks who are watching, her mom looks like her and Eve. Like it's uncanny how much you guys look like. And she looks so young. She looks great, And your brother was recently he was an extra on Power. Was it Power Book 3?
Yes. Yeah, here he is.
Yeah, how you doing?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm good. Congratulations on that, man. That's really cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, dude. And y'all look alike too. It's like y'all, the genes are strong, man. What do you have upcoming next? Do you have a new book? What's going on with you?
So as far as books, I'm actually planning the blueprint of my 4th book. So that's really exciting. I don't want to give away too many details. I want to just, leave that mystery and surprise. And as far as anything else coming up, as always, the podcast coming up every Friday at 10 a.m. And that's really about it for now. At least I'm going to say on camera.
Nice. Everybody got to have their secrets, So yeah, that's excellent. So yeah, it's a pleasure talking to you. I'm glad we're able to do this today. Again, folks, the Flourishing Footprints is on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on help me, Google, right?
Yes, Google as well. Anchor, Overcast, Breaker, various other platforms. If you really just Google Flourishing Footprints podcast, it'll come right up.
Right. Cool. And A Glimpse of a World, as well as your other book, they can get on Amazon, correct?
Yes, it's A Glimpse of Her World, 2020 Vision, and Flourishing Footprints, a guide to walking your flourish-filled future.
Nice. Such a pleasure talking to you, and continue to do good things and continue to be healthy and happy with your family. And it was a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. See ya.
Peace. Cool. What's up, everybody? This is indeed the E-Man, chilling like a villain, sing like Bob Dylan, keep it on low with some double stuff. Oreos. And right now, Renaissance Man is back. Mr. Judd Winick. I'm talking like, he has, let's see, he has a book that's out now called Hilo. He's worked for DC, Marvel. He's worked for Cartoon Network, Life and Times of Juniper Lee. He's done everything, and he's gracious enough to come back to the show just to say hey and give us an update. How you doing, Judd?
I'm doing excellent, sir. How are you? Thanks for having me back. Pleasure to be here.
Man. Yes. So the interview that we had, I got to clear up some stuff because I made some errors. Okay. First error. Green Lanterns do not need willpower in order to make their rings work. They need to be, in order to be recruited, they have to have a strong sense of willpower. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, it's a little fast and loose as far as who becomes a Green Lantern. Pretty much. I think like if you to make it through the door and for them to give you a ring, you actually just have to have fortitude. I think it's sort of just I mean, I always thought it was about being like strong-willed. Someone,
right?
If you're someone who lacks a certain amount of confidence, you're not going to be able to make the ring work. Now, you might have other failings, but it's about good old-fashioned guts. What it is to make you like I can do this, and it might not have anything to do with your personal life, but when it comes down to the heroics of what's needed to be, I think that's what's needed. Fortitude.
Got it. I asked about who would you have cast as Hal Jordan. That was not a shot against Ryan Reynolds. I just want to be clear on that. I think he's an amazing actor, but what I should have said was, what would you have done differently with that movie? I mean, I think he was when news was going around that they were going to make a Green Lantern movie, and I was like, oh, who's going to have as Hal Jordan? He was the last person on my mind. If anything, if he's going to be a DC character, I would think, oh, well, he'll make a great Wally West. Wally West, based kind of off of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. But again, nothing against Ryan Reynolds. I just want to be clear on that. I think he's a great actor. I think he's an amazing.
He's done fine. I hear things. Yeah. I think he's doing okay. I think he's doing just all right. And he's been brutally honest about the entire experience of Green Lantern. That he was excited to be a superhero. I hadn't read the script. I think if any of you out there, I think it's still available on YouTube. He did a watch along reaction video of himself watching Green Lantern. I don't know if it's the entire movie, but chunks of it. And he posted it, and everything's like, oh God, this is and also like, oh, you know what? That wasn't so bad. That was better than I remembered. Like, okay, this doesn't even make sense. It was a rough movie. I mean, in hindsight, I think if you were to throw one huge criticism at it, was that they just tried to do too much.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he's became Green Lantern. They introduced the Corps. They introduced, I mean, it's so much going on. It's just too much.
But I will
But
say
they'll
this.
get another crack at it.
Definitely. I think Mark Strong was amazing as Sinestro, though. I think he was really great as Sinestro.
There's nothing that Mark Strong is not great at.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll even go so far as to say even the worst movies that Mark Strong has ever been in have nothing to do with him, because so like when Mark Strong's on, you're happy. It's like, oh man, he's just great. It's great in everything.
Yeah. The Kingsman, the Kingsman movies that he's been in, great. I can't wait for the sequel. Or the prequel. It was a prequel, I believe, right?
The prequel.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited about that too.
Speaking of movies,
yes,
we talked about Afterlife before it came out, the last interview. Now it's already out. And I'll be honest with you. So you were recently on Nerdvana and you did like you were one of the keynote speakers, and I asked about Afterlife and what you thought of it. So just to be clear, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to talk about right now is spoilers.
Okay, so warning. We're talking about Ghostbusters, New Afterlife. So 3, 2, 1. You got to get out because we're going to talk the talk. I'm warning y'all. This is it. Leave. We're going to talk about the movie. You've been warned. This is it.
You've been warned.
Okay. Go ahead. They've got it.
I thought it's when I left the theater, I literally had to I had to digest it. You know what I mean? Because there were certain things I didn't like, and there are certain things that I loved. And then I literally walked to the movie theater to watch it, which is like a 3-mile walk, and then I walked back home. And so when I was like a mile off, when I was a mile away from my house, I was like, I get it. I understand what that movie was all about. It's not even about trying to be better than the original movie, because that's never going to happen. It's about, it's a love letter to the fans. It's an apology to the fans for what came out in 2016, which was crap. And I'm sorry, that movie was crap, guys. I mean, it has nothing to do with the casting of them being 4 women. I have no problem with that. The problem with the 2016 movie that I had was they didn't even attempt to put it in the same universe. You can't have a franchise that's been dormant since 89 and be like, oh, well, this has nothing to do with the previous movies. What are you talking about? That's a slap in the face to the fan base. Anyway, and it was a love letter and a tribute to Harold Ramis, which was well-deserved. And I enjoyed that a lot. The third act of the movie was great.
Yeah, really. No, once you, well, it's a couple of things. Like one, they decided they were going to make a different kind of movie. So this is not a comedy. It's funny, but it's like Ghostbusters is a comedy, and it is. It's comedy which happens to have like really interesting and fun action and great science fiction and fantasy stuff thrown in there. But it's it's a joke machine. That's what it's supposed to be. It's Ghostbusters. This was like tonally kind of closer to like Raiders of the Lost Ark. That it's got plenty of jokes in there and it pops along, but it has, it's got some weight to it, but it's not really designed to be a joke machine, despite what was going on there. And it is fun. It was really exciting. It was far more moving than a lot of us thought it was going to be. And I think twofold that, for those who have seen it, hopefully you're sticking with us at this point. Harold Ramis, who starred and co-wrote the original 2 Ghostbusters. So he passed away a number of years ago. And in this movie, his character has died, which adds a weird weight to it, I thought, as well. In doing the movie, it wasn't, it's not like the actor just came back to, I feel weird even talking about it, but we've warned people enough. He didn't come back just to play a ghost. He's left us. But his presence is in the movie. He's in the movie. And it's really, I think knowing that he's actually passed away added a certain weight to it that was unexpected. And, and I thought McKenna Grace, who's the lead of the movie, was crazy great. She's so crazy great. It's like, it's really just like, and and a lot of range. She does different stuff. Like this is totally a different thing going on with her. You know, when she's little in the Chris Evans movie Gifted, she's awesome. She was in Handmaid's Tale, like a totally different, dark, horrible thing going on there. So it was really moving and fun and deeply interesting. I was surprised. We've seen it twice.
Awesome.
That's where my family's at. Yes.
And there's again, guys, spoilers. There's a part where Ray is talking to McKenna Grace's character. Well, I can't remember McKenna Grace's character's name, but there was a part where he's talking. Phoebe, yes, Phoebe, and he says a line like he says, Egon Spengler, he can go to hell or something like that, right?
Right.
And I wonder, I don't know, I felt like that was kind of like a behind the scenes thing, because for folks who don't know, like Bill Murray and Harold Ramis had like a rivalry for a long time.
So a big falling out. There's a huge falling out over. I think Harold Ramis actually couldn't even tell you exactly what the heck happened.
Right.
From the interviews that I saw and read, he was either being intentionally vague, but I actually sort of think like he's not 100% sure what made Bill mad at him, but they made peace. But they made peace in the end. Bill went to see him when he got sick, and they made peace. So it's there. It's a little bit there that they, you know, when they're saying goodbye to, I'm with you. Like when they're saying goodbye to Egon Spengler on camera, you know, there's a lot of reality there that I think these were actually some gentlemen who had not spent a lot of time together in the last like 10 to 15 years.
Yes. And I you know, and I saw like there were elements, because originally there was supposed to be a third movie, and it was supposed to be about the Ghostbusters going to hell, then coming back, and then from what I understand, recruiting a whole new line of Ghostbusters. And that never happened because evidently Bill Murray didn't like it, and so they never made that third movie. And so
he might not have been wrong.
Of hell in that film. What do you say?
He might not have been wrong. I mean, right. You've seen the second. I mean, have you seen the second Ghostbusters movie?
Yes.
Not a great
though.
What's that?
I didn't hate the second movie.
Oh no, it's not. No. I didn't say I hate it. It's just like this Ghostbusters was an amazing movie, and then this thing, which is it has like moments of like okay, this is fun, and then there's like moments of pure crap, like really terrible. Like this is a rotten movie. There's a rotten thing going on here. Like you guys, like this feels like you could have spent more than a day writing this scene. This is just terrible movie, yeah. And so the idea, I'm sure. I understand without even knowing anything for Bill Murray to say like we're not doing a third Ghostbusters. Why? The second one made a lot of money. Like it wasn't. No.
yeah. But you know what? But I love. This is gonna sound strange. I love the character of Yanich in the second one, played by Peter McNichol.
Ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
No photographs. No. I love his character.
It's not a subtle performance. It's very, very funny. It's all. I mean, and actually, I think that character was probably written because Rick Moranis wasn't going to come back, and he didn't come back for this either. But he isn't. He's retired. You know that story, right? That Rick Moranis, that he retired a number of years ago because his wife passed away.
Right.
And
take care of his kids.
He left the business to raise his children. And there's something really. There's something really, really wonderful about that. I understand that. So I think he's
admirable.
Yeah. And even for like Ghostbusters, like if he comes back, he's not coming back for a cameo in a movie that's like, he'll come back and do something substantial, I guess, and I understand that. Anyway, we're all over the place. Still talking about Ghostbusters.
Yes.
But yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I wanted to ask, because of the MCU and these comic book movies, I think it's, to me, because I collected comic books in the 90s, and back then I was almost laughed at for doing that. Now it's so lucrative. People wearing Marvel shirts. I had a conversation with a young man, because I was working at a grocery store at the time, and he had a Marvel shirt on. I was like, and it was one of those Marvel shirts with all the characters on there. I was like, oh, that's so cool. You know, I said, do you know who those people are? He's like, well, I think this guy is Batman. And he pointed to Wolverine. I was like, oh no. I said,
I want to beat you. I just want to take something out and just beat you down just so hard. That's
dude,
Batman. Yeah. No, it's funny. It was, I don't know, it's probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When it started to happen in such a big way where, some ridiculous looking actor or actress would say like, oh, I was such a nerd in high school. I was so into comic books. And like, sure you were. Yeah, right. Oh, I'm sure you were just some big nerd. You were. Then they dig out a picture of them from high school and they look exactly the same. Like, nah, man, you were just a beautiful person. You didn't crack a comic ever. You were not nerdy. You were not give me a break. Yeah, it's funny how geek culture, nerd culture has swung so far into the mainstream. I'm 51, and when I was a kid, I read comics pretty much in a vacuum, meaning just on my own. My dad bought me comics when I was a kid, and then I got the hankering early. Like my dad is a 76. So he grew up like his favorite comic book was Shazam, Captain Marvel.
Nice.
Way back, even more so than Superman. So he was reading comics in the 50s. And that's also when an issue of Captain Marvel would sell 1 million copies a month. It was everything. It was everywhere. Yeah. So my dad got me into comics and I grew up reading them, but I did not know anybody else who read them, and you certainly didn't talk about them. And I grew up in the era that we went from the spinner racks, which were in like convenience stores like 7-Eleven and the supermarket, over to when comic book stores started finally opening. I mean, I remember with amazement, I think it was 7th grade. There was a kid in my class who I remember he like busted out a comic, and it was Teen Titans. He took it out of like a plastic bag, and he was carefully reading it. I was like, that's someone like reading comics in public. I'd never seen anything like, someone reading comics. It just killed me. Like, wow. Okay. And it's like, so what are you reading? It's like Titans. I said, yeah, I mostly read X-Men. And we talked about it a little bit, and then we would talk about comics a little bit. Not in a big way, just like little hushed tones.
Right.
And that was it. And now, starting with, the slow build of, couple of superhero movies, starting with Tim Burton's Batman.
Yes.
Into Blade, into, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and then Iron Man. And at some point, then suddenly, oh no, I love all that nerdy stuff. Like, and
it's like even with this new Spider-Man movie coming out, it's like a few weeks away. And the thing I'm really that's really starting to get on my nerves a little bit is like people just won't let the movie come out. I'm like, look, it's a few weeks away. Stop nitpicking everything, trying to figure out if Toby's in it or not. Just there's no anticipation anymore.
I've actually reached my saturation point pretty much with the last trailer that like my heart couldn't take it anymore. Like I can't even discuss it anymore. I think I had a very loud discussion with my nephew. He's 15, and he was insisting that Andrew Garfield and Tom Maguire are not going to be in the movie. And I said, okay, yes, they are. And he goes like, no, Kevin Feige, he's like burning up his phone and said here that it's like, okay, he didn't say Tom Maguire and Andrew Garfield are not going to be in the movie. So they're going to be in the movie. I said, what he's trying to do is pull it back, because my belief as a fan, as a storyteller, is that the movie's not about them. They're going to show up late in the story when it's fun. Like in the bottom of the second act, top of the third act, they're part of the climax. That for Spider-Man to beat the bad guys, the Spider-Men have to, and I'm sorry to ruin this for anybody, because this is probably how it's going to go down. I just think how it's going to go down. But I'm with you. The nitpickiness, and also the fact that I think they're probably not going to let the press see the movie ahead of time. And I'm going to have to, like, all of us who care, we'll have to like not pick up our phones from starting at Thursday at like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and like total media blackout. No one talk to me. Everyone leave the TV off. Don't look at YouTube. Can't even open YouTube,
dude.
Because
oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, and like I know, like Friday night, my family, we usually wait till Saturday, and I told them this year we can't.
You can't.
It's like we can't, and it's like, well, I don't care. It's like nope. Someone's gonna spoil everything.
Dude,
strangers on the street are come running up to you, ruining it.
It happens every time. I'm talking like something told me, my spider senses told me like the day before something told me I need to watch Endgame on Thursday. But I said, nope, I'm going to wait until Friday morning. I'm going to have everything prepared. I was ready, right? How about I'm going to the movie theater. Before I go to the movie theater, I pick up some chicken tenders or whatever, right? I look on Instagram and Robert Downey Jr. posts something saying, thanks for all of the good times. Love you 3000. And he had some he was posing in some kind of weird Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure pose. I was like, oh no. I said, no. I said, he's not going to die. And but still, it didn't take away from that movie. That I'm talking like, Judd, I watched that movie 9 times in the movie theater. I took full advantage of my AMC A-list because the first time I watched it, it was like an outer body experience. When he said on your left and they all came out, I was like on the verge of tears, man. It was just a view. I don't know if you seen Endgame, right?
No, not only to see Endgame, it was my son's birthday party. So I bought the tickets like I don't know, so a month and a half or 2 months before that. And so my wife, my daughter, my son, and 15 of his friends, and a couple of their parents. We went and saw it like Saturday morning-ish. So fresh crowd, hot crowd, way into this, packed crowd. And it was like, in my opinion, like perfect movie going experience. They were screaming and yelling in all the right places. Everyone was shocked and, just floored in the right way. When he says on your left, the whole place goes bananas and just screaming. And when Cap gets the hammer, like I was so happy to be in a theater where they started screaming. Everyone started screaming and applauding, like, man, I'm getting goosebumps again just thinking about it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm knocking wood. I can only hope at some point that we get an experience like that. And it's also why it's important that, people mind their P's and Q's and like, don't spoil stuff. Just keep it to yourself. Let people experience it for the first time in the movie. It's getting bad. I mean, I think it was just I won't even talk about it exactly. At the end of Eternals, there's a post-credit scene.
Yes.
That a reporter from Vanity Fair like walked out of the screening they were in and blew it. Like just tweeted it. Like tweeted out like, who this cameo was and this introduction of this new character. And I'd avoided that for like a couple of weeks until I got to see the movie. It's like, that's just, it didn't affect the plot of the movie, but it's really, it's shameful shit. It's just, there was just no need to do that. And I think that's a lot like, can we just relax and because part of being in a movie and part of a story is the twists and turns, and sometimes big things happen. So let people just have the big things. You can talk about so many other things, so we'll see.
Which, by the way, I think that movie got a lot of hate, but I enjoyed that movie. I really liked it.
I loved it. My family is split down the middle on it. I really, really enjoyed it. We would have gone to see it again, except half my family was not that interested. I'm eagerly waiting to watch it again. So many things I liked about the movie. I've debated a lot of friends who are, fellow storytellers as well, who didn't like it.
Really?
No, it's just, it's deeply interesting actually. Whereas sometimes it gets like really, really aggravating to discuss a movie or 5 with people who, might not like it for this reason. I found this debate really interesting because people were really divided. And I'm trying to crack the code of like, what didn't you like about it? And it's like, that was really, really long. Like, okay, whatever. I was like, I'm done with you. Like, that's not an answer. And like, it's like, well, I didn't think characters were properly developed. Like, were they? I thought we had a lot. Like, well, no, a lot of these, like, it's like, I found it to be an interesting conversation, more so than a lot of pure. I just thought that would suck, So I'm with you. I liked Eternals. I liked it quite a bit.
I liked the Eternals. I enjoyed Shang-Chi quite a bit. I really wasn't hip on Black Widow, only because I thought the timing was off. I think if they would have made Black Widow like right after right after Civil War, and
it would have had a greater impact for sure. It would have felt, rather than the prequel they got us. But I heard arguments, and actually I tend to agree when I thought about it. I don't know if they would have made as good a movie if they made it back when, like, if it was right after Civil War. I think that we've learned a little bit more about storytelling. I don't think that she would have been as I don't think they've done her as well. I think they were probably a little more conscious about the fact that, I don't know, I think here and there they would have leaned heavily on a couple of the women being damsel in distress here and there. I think they were probably, this was a movie about superheroes, and we didn't get into a lot of sort of like dopey gender crap that often, happens, with older movies, that, the women are weaker or they need help or they're the ones who are kind of threatened. None of that was in Black Widow. I'm with you though, that, the fun way, 20 years from now, when young people get to watch it, it's like, no, put that one in order. Put it where, watch that one right after Civil War where you're supposed to. Well, but you can't. Oh, you can't because it spoils Endgame. Never mind. Don't do that. If anybody digs this up and is watching this 20 years from now, don't do that. Watch it the way the way they came out.
Yes.
Not unlike the Star Wars prequels. One of my favorite stories about Star Wars.
What's that?
I've many, but about the prequels, there was this is a friend of a friend told me this story, that there was this dad who was introducing his kid to Star Wars. So he thought, I'm going to show him in order, meaning that I'm going to show him first the prequels, so they go chronologically, and then we'll go to, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, onto Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi. So he's watching with his son, and, he's thinking the prequels. And then when they got to Empire Strikes Back, and they've already watched the prequels, and Yoda shows up, and Yoda's being really goofy with Mark Hamill. And Dad's like, he's like laughing. He's looking over at his son, who's like 8 or 9, and is horrified, like really upset. He goes, "What happened to Yoda?" He goes, "What do you mean, what happened to Yoda? Like, he's like crazy now. Did he lose his mind or something? Did he like, oh, no. And we know that like Yoda is like pretending to be a befuddled old creature, opposed to like the venerable Jedi. This kid had seen Yoda for 3 movies be Yoda, Master Jedi, and now he thinks he's here with dementia or something. And he found it to be really, really upsetting. And so Dad's like, no, I screwed that up. So anytime anyone asks me, should we watch them in order? Like, no. Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi, then the prequels, just as they came out.
Yeah, and when you say Star Wars, and gotta going back to what we were talking about before about like being spoiled by stuff, and like that. Yeah. I've come to grips with something. I've come to grips with this fact: the new stuff that comes out, maybe that's just not for me.
Sure,
I'm not the demographic, because like when I watched the not the prequels, when I watched the new ones, Force Awakens and the other 2, Force Awakens I thought was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And I was spoiled by that too. I went on Facebook. Han Solo gets killed. What? You know what I'm saying? But I've just come to grips like some of the new stuff maybe isn't for me, and that's cool. So
no, it's not. It's not cool. It's not cool. it is supposed to be for you. No, you can be outraged. It's okay. It's okay not to like things. Like when we were, I think it's perfectly okay. I'll put it another way.
Okay.
How great is The Mandalorian? Yeah, right. So I also think what's going to be interesting is that so Dave Filoni, who is a genius storyteller, and for those playing at home, he was the creative force behind the Clone Wars animated series.
Mhm.
So we can argue until the cows come home that the prequels have some weak storytelling in there. We'll leave it at that. Okay?
Right.
There's some weak storytelling in the prequels to the Star Wars. Dave Filoni looked at those stories and took a lot of the good from it and created the Clone Wars and made some really interesting story.
Yeah.
Just coming out of like between Attack of the Clones and before Revenge of the Sith, this is a story I'm going to tell. And he mined a lot of really interesting things, which made it like really interesting.
Wow.
And similarly with The Mandalorian, right now they're hinting at that The Mandalorian is a prequel to the new trilogy. That that Grogu, Baby Yoda, was kidnapped because they're trying to get, I don't know, his Force DNA, his power or whatnot, because they're spoilers, Mandalorian spoilers, second trilogy spoilers, Force Awakens on up. So you've been warned if you haven't watched Star Wars movies or The Mandalorian, get out. But why would they even be here? I don't even know why they would even be in it. It's not a book club. Yeah, so I think they're building a story of how Palpatine came back, and they're working through that, because we already saw that they were, they're doing cloning and stuff. Anyway, I think it's really, really interesting that Dave Filoni looks at like, yeah, okay, that might not have worked for a lot of people, but I think there's good stuff there, and I'm going to make it work. So I think going forward, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, I don't know, whatever they're going to be doing with Obi-Wan Kenobi, whatever that series is going to be.
And the Boba Fett thing too, the book of Boba.
And Boba Fett. How could I forget? Yes. Yes. My kids are literally counting the days. Me too, also. Just, it's good stuff. So feel free to crap on the things you don't like and embrace the things you do. It's okay. And there's crapping on, and then there's, being fair, like, yeah, I like this. This didn't work for me. I didn't like this because of that. But, but I do like this. It's, you're allowed, I mean,
I appreciate that.
There are things where I'll go so far as like Teen Titans Go as a like, if you don't like Teen Titans Go because you like the original, 1970s and 80s, George Perez and Marv Wolfman run on Teen Titans, like, okay, well, guess what? This little comedy series, not for you. Okay.
Right.
That's like, and you don't have to get mad that they dared put this out in the world. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a different version. Just a different version.
And just to ask you something, because when the last interview we talked, you said that your favorite mutant was Wolverine. So I'm gonna ask you the $1 million question. MCU owns now X-Men and Fantastic Four. So if Kevin Feige comes up to you and like, okay, Judd, who would you cast as Wolverine? Nothing against Hugh Jackman, because I think he's great, but I have a feeling they're going to recast all of the X-Men. Who would you cast as Wolverine, in your opinion? Like, who would you?
First, then I'd ask him was like, well, okay. First question, Kevin, you are bringing Hugh Jackman back for a little bit because of the multiverse, right? One time, you're gonna bring him back one time, right?
One time.
No, I'm not even telling you anything until you tell me Hugh Jackman's come back one time, Kevin Feige. I'm not gonna tell you until I want to know that. After that, I don't know. It's what's deeply interesting is that because superhero comics have gotten so mainstream, and really A-list, capital A actors are stepping in there and like, yeah, I'm gonna do the superhero movie. Why? Because actually the scripts are good, the stories are fun, and people are people. I'm sure, like, they're gonna pay me a gargantuan amount of money, and I can then do anything else I want. If I play Doctor Strange for 4 or 5 years, whatever.
Right.
So they'll absolutely. I don't know who the next Wolverine will be, but we're all guessing like how they're going to do it. Is this going to be a multiverse thing where suddenly the mutant universe of the previous incarnation is now merged with the one we have? Is it a separate pocket universe? Do we start over? Are they, as a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B? Does somebody from the old school get yanked into our universe and they stay? And they're the ones who are going to, you know, do we have, is it James McAvoy? Do I have that right? Played Professor X. Like, does he get plunked into and dropped into our universe? Because, like, you know, he's not 25 anymore. He's actually of a real kind of choice age to be, you know, Professor X, like right now. And maybe he starts the school over again. Like, I don't know, you know. There's so now they've opened up the multiverse, Secret Wars, Fantastic Four, Galactus.
Oh my gosh!
Some days I can barely sleep just thinking about it, because when I was a kid, I would have gone without food for the opportunity for this to actually come onto the screen in this real way. You know,
isn't it crazy?
No. I was rewatching the Avengers with my son and a buddy of his, a buddy who had not had a chance to see it. And I still remember going to the theater thinking, like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe it's like, you know, because when I was a kid, the greatest thing ever was like, you know, an issue of a comic where all the heroes kind of came together a little bit. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like, oh my goodness, the Fantastic Four are in here with the Avengers and the X-Men. Yeah. Oh, you know, it's the greatest thing ever. And now, they're that's why I'm so excited about Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, no, we're gonna put them all in the pot. I actually, I'll even go further with some of my guesstimations that I totally think Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield absolutely 100% come back. I cannot imagine they won't, because if they weren't, Kevin Feige would be having a press conference with them saying they will not be in this movie, right, at all, ever. But I think they're also gonna have a couple other surprises. I think some really amazing. I mean, my confidence. I mean, there's a funny. Just look up like fan expectation Spider-Man No Way Home poster. And on the poster, it's got Godzilla and King Kong and the Terminator and Gandalf and Harry Potter and like. And I'm a little in that school. Like I'm expecting a little bit more. I'm expecting one or two things which makes me go, and I think they know that too. I believe this is if I heard this correctly, it has sold more pre-sale tickets than any movie in history, like more so than any of the Star Wars movies. Really? I think they're not even quite done counting up all the tickets that got sold. Like theaters are sold out. And every time another day goes by, another theater sells out. And you know, do you have? I know. I myself, for 2 days. For the Friday it comes out, and then like Monday after that, when you know, we're going out of town for the holidays. Like, when we get to LA, we're gonna go see it that Monday again, unless it's terrible, which it won't be. You know,
you are so lucky to be living in that area and get to see the movies like in that area. That's cool. I just want to drop something for you real quick. Okay, so this is my thing. This is something that, first of all, I want to say this. We're living in an amazing time where we have a Hawkeye series, we have a freaking WandaVision series, which was great.
They're great.
But
they're really great.
I was a little disappointed in it only because I'm like, okay, this is a perfect time for them to kind of even just say the word mutants. They don't, just say mutants. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping Kevin Feige just uses Disney Plus as an opportunity to kind of use that to kind of, because mutants are everywhere. They're huge. There's so many beyond the X-Men. There's X-Force, there's X-Factor, there's Excalibur.
There's a plan. There's absolutely a plan. Yes. That's why when I saw that and said like, okay, we didn't kick the door open. They're cooking something up. And I think it has a multiverse thing. I think so. It's what's great about going back to Spider-Man, the animated movie Into the Spider-Verse. I think it taught us that like the regular mainstream public can understand the idea of a multiverse. Like, here's like 5 spider people. And they did a great job explaining it. So with that, now when people see like, oh no, there's 2 Wolverines. Like, okay, yeah. Like,
right.
It's like
exactly.
Like he's from an alternate reality. Like you'll find some some 50-year-old guy who's never read a comic, or he's like, you read comics as a kid? Yeah, Richie Rich. He understands what the multiverse is. Like, no, he's just like from another reality or something. Like, yeah, you got it. So
absolutely. And just to put my 2 cents out there, if they're going to cast
Please do.
Wolverine,
Who do you want? Who's your dream cast Wolverine?
My dream cast Wolverine is either one or two people. Taron Egerton from Kingsman.
Yeah, he'd be great.
And it's really convenient because like if they were to do it within the next 2 years, he'll be about the same age as Hugh Jackman when he first started out as Wolverine.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, if they can get him to commit to it, and if they're thinking about choosing somebody any age, I think Scott Caan is low. I mean, like he looks like Logan. I mean, he's 5'4". He's gruff. He smokes cigars. He looks just like Logan. And then if they can get him to commit to it, I think Shia LaBeouf would be great too. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but if they can get Shia LaBeouf
you know what? He would. Because and I don't mean this in any way to crap on him. Like, he is so intense and committed. Yeah. So he would go the full Hugh Jackman route. He would not eat bread and just eat chicken breast and work out for a day to turn himself into a monster. And he would be unrecognizable when he steps on screen. Like, oh my God, look at he would be really, really interesting. I mean, that's we'll see what they do. We'll see. We live in a magical time as far as this stuff. It's really it's magical. Fun. I mean, tomorrow we get another episode of Hawkeye, the TV series that I'm managing to give a shit about. Oh, watching it, love it. I'm just saying, like, when I was a kid, like, there's going to be a Hawkeye TV series one day. It's like, you're gonna love it, right? No, really, it's like, no, it's fine. Like, it's like, why? What's wrong with Hawkeye? It's like he's like the least interesting guy in the Avengers. It's fine, it's fine. And I'm talking about like 11-year-old me, like whatever, Hawkeye, but they're doing stuff. It's a lot of fun. I look forward to it.
Me too, man. And I just want people to understand, like, people who don't read comics and think, and got into the comic book world through the movies and think, Thanos, snapping his fingers and eliminating half the earth people think that's amazing. Mm-hmm. I want people to understand this. If Storm were to go berserk, she could wipe out half of humanity right then and there. She's that Storm, Bobby Drake. Bobby Drake can just do a cold snap, just like, I mean, if he had that, I mean, there's some mutants out there that are so powerful, they can make Thanos look like nothing.
In the last 10 years, they had I think there's like the top tier mutants have a name. I forget what they're called. Like Omegas or whatever. Yeah. Is that it? It's Omegas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that is there. I was also impressed with the MCU that they're being very careful about that too, like pointing out like who is our top tier, like level of godhood can take out half a planet, heroes. You've got Thor, you've got Captain Marvel. She's about at the top. I mean, my kids particularly my daughter loved the scene when Captain Marvel is fighting Thanos, and he had to cheat to win. But even more so than that, they love it when Wanda is about to kill Thanos in Endgame. Like, is a breath away she is about to kill him, and he decides to kill half of his troops just to get away because he is so scared. We look like it's the only time he's scared. This is it. And I gotta say, my daughter, who 11 or 12 when she saw it, she's 13 now, it's still like her favorite part. She loves that, like, it's Wanda you don't expect. It's like, and she's like, and they make a point of it now. And I think a lot of that was in WandaVision too. Like, yes, she had a nervous breakdown and completely altered reality. Like she's kind of top tier. So anyway, we're all over the place. If anyone else is watching this besides us, I hope you're enjoying a couple couple of geeks going off on the MCU in the good way.
Absolutely. I want and just to ask you, you said you had an upcoming project. I know you have another Hilo book coming out, but you have this other project that's coming out that's really cool as well. Because I watched you on the Nerdvana. Yes. What are some of the upcoming projects you got coming out?
I don't know, it's gonna be next year, the year after that. So I'm doing a new series. It's called The Mighty, which I did talk about at Nerdvana. That I wrote the first draft well over a year ago and came up with it like 2 years ago. It sounds similar to Pixar's new movie, Big Red. Big Red?
Turning Red.
Turning Red. Thank you. So this is about a little girl named Miranda. She's about 12 years old, and she discovers that she can turn into a big furry monster. And she does what any kid would do when they find out they turn into a big furry monster. She does not tell her parents, and she fights crime. Our story, my story is a little bit more somewhere between, Hulk and Spider-Man. It's a full-on superhero story, even more so than Hilo. So I'm not as concerned about Turning Red, because I don't think she fights crime. I think it's kind of a coming of age story. But anyway,
yes,
that's what it's about. I wrote and drew the first one, but I'm going to be collaborating with another cartoonist who we have not found yet, because I can only write and draw one book a year. It's all I can manage. So that's going to be Hilo. So the first Mighty book, I'm going to write and draw. Second one after that, I'll be writing, and someone else will be drawing it. And I'm excited. This one, this one's a lot of fun because it is more of just a straight ahead superhero story in a lot of ways. Hilo is still a superhero story. That's how I always described it to folks, as a superhero story in disguise.
Yeah.
He's got his costume, got his insignia, flies around, shoots lasers out of his hands. Superhero story. This one is full on secret identity, fighting crime in a city. People don't know who she is, and it'll be fun.
I can't wait. And the new Hilo book comes out in February, right?
In February. Yep, this
Yes.
February. Pretty much every February for the rest of my life is pretty much that's the plan. New book.
Cool. Excellent, man. Excellent. Having just one more question. How's Pam and the kids?
They're great. They're really, really great. We're good. We are still living through it.
Yes.
As we all do. I think we're all like 10 steps forward, 3 steps back. Who knows? Maybe next week we'll find out like Omicron isn't nearly as bad. Right today, as you and I sit here today, we're hearing like it's not too bad. It's like it's as contagious as Delta, but not nearly as potent, I guess is a word to use. That's today. But they're good. For those playing at home, we're talking about my wife and kids. My kids are in school right now. What time is it? They're going to be on their way home soon. And we're good. We are, like many of us, just getting through this. It's why I think a lot of us love these crazy off-the-wall superhero stories so dang much that it's a lot. It's a fun thing to cling to and to turn to and have a little bit of fun, a little bit of drama, a little bit of excitement.
Yes.
And not watch the news just for a little bit.
Yes, it's an escape. I have this argument all the time with my brother-in-law, and he'll make a complaint. Some of these superhero movies aren't realistic. I'm like, they're not really supposed to be. It's a form of escape. If you want realism, just watch the news. This is a time to escape.
I think we're loving about it. The other side of that argument is that I think what we as like older comic readers are enjoying about it is that a lot of folks are learning what we've always known, that once you get past the silly costumes and a lot of the superpowers and the people fighting, the things blowing up, there's actual characters here.
Yes.
And that's actually the stuff we love. We actually really, like Storm. Storm is this amazing character who, in all deference to, like, it's not Halle Berry's fault that she was underwritten and like they didn't do a lot with her.
Right.
But that's a character who, like, she's an amazing character that so little has been done. And I'm excited for the MCU to finally get a hold of her. Like, are they going to weave her into Wakanda somewhat? I mean, she, are they going to do the full story that she was a kid on the street who was a thief, and then she got her powers, and then was like worshipped as a goddess because she could control the weather. And like, are we going to do that? Because it would be cool. That would be like that's the coolest part of the story. Not that she can control the weather. It's the fact that, for a period of time, she, lived in Africa for like, I don't know, from the time she was 12 to the time she was like 18, 19, and was worshipped as a deity, when she wasn't. She was a mutant, but, but like, it makes for a great story. And I, as like, a big old geek, like, I really hope they do that and do it well, because, oh man, it's such a great, fun story. So it's character, character.
I have some anxiety about like the Black Panther project, because I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. When I found out Chadwick Boseman passed away, I cried. It took like 2 days, but I cried like a baby, because it's just like it affected me so much, man. And I was like, what are they gonna do? And I said, I don't really want them to recast.
No,
but I just
right.
It
was a heartbreak, because it was done so well, so perfectly well. And also you can sort of like, so excited, like, you read the same things I do, that Ryan Coogler is planning on doing it. He said this is gonna be like Star Wars for Black kids. I'm gonna do a trilogy.
Wow.
I'm gonna do a trilogy, and he knew exactly where they were going. And this is going past just the heartbreak of his friends and family and loved ones who lost him. I am talking about this incredible. I'm purely just talking about the incredible story that they were not going to get an opportunity to tell because they lost him. And I agreed. You couldn't recast him because it was too soon, and he was too big, a person, a character, an actor, too big, too much, that you got to go in another direction. And now, yes, I hear the same things that you're hearing, that all these shenanigans going on in the set, and, I'll say this. Yeah. I trust Ryan Coogler as a storyteller 100%. He has all my sympathy and energy, and love the fact that it seems that he has now had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
At least a third time now on this. At first, first with Chadwick Boseman, they lost him, and they refigured it all out and reworked it. Yeah. And it seemed like, okay, so Siri's going to be Black Panther, and now through logistical craziness, that can't happen. He's got to like, okay.
That has to
one
be
more time.
Difficult. Crazy.
I actually think, one, it's going to be an amazing story. Then two, maybe he tells us like some of the other things he had in mind. Because it's hard. It's hard. Like, we just watched Black Panther again about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids were pushing, let's watch Black Panther. Like, I feel like we just saw it, we just watched it like a month before that. No, come on. All right, fine. I'm totally in here again. Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe like how it's like, I thought like, I'll sit and watch it with you for like 10 minutes. And it's like, it's this perfect movie. It's just on every level,
Yeah.
And luckily it kind of stands on its own.
It really does.
If they were never ever to make any more, it's sort of like, no, it's like, Anyway, I babbled along about Black Panther. I'm with you. I have faith, though. I have faith in Ryan Coogler. It's gonna do some things, man.
Absolutely. Okay. I know you can answer the Wolverine question, but the Fantastic Four question: who do you see? And that's only 4 people. So who do you see cast in that movie? I'm excited, man. Though. I'm really excited.
I don't know. I you know what? Who somebody posted that it should be like the cast of The Good Place. Like all 4 of them. It's like, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, they would be great. They're actually, with the Fantastic Four, there's so many terrific actors that they can go for. It's just sort of like, what direction can you take it in? Are we starting off like, have they already been around? Like, is Reed Richards like 35 and change? Or is he like, are we coming up on him at like 26. And what's funny, oh my God, what's so funny, like with these knucklehead billionaires like sending their spaceships out into space, the whole idea of like 420 somethings launching their own spacecraft, you know, into outer space, and then something screwed up happened. That's no longer a big idea. That's sort of like, oh yeah, no, you got the time and money, you can make your own spaceship, sure, you know. So I do not know. I'm hoping they take advantage of the fact that I hope it's diverse. I hope it's interesting people. I hope they mix it up a little bit. You know, there's so many ways you can go. I assume it's going to fit into the MCU. That's what I also hope they do.
Yes,
it fits in there. You know, something
I hope
they set
don't
up.
shoehorn them in. I don't want that. You know, because they did that with Spider-Man. It's like they shoehorned them in through Civil War, and I thought it worked, but it was. I was like, they could have did that a different way. But hey, I still love Tom Holland and Spider-Man. To me,
that was the thing. Is that like if they hadn't knocked it out of the park so hard, I probably would have an issue with it. But from the moment he popped on screen, it's like, oh my God, it's finally Spider-Man. He's a kid.
Yes.
He sounds like a kid.
Yeah.
It was just so, oh my God, so good. It's so good. So yeah, I kind of hope that they figure out some organic thing. At some point, they might do it to us. At some point, we're watching a movie and someone will say like, yeah, I just want you to meet our head of development, Reed Richards. And then every, like, it just, and like, in some like quasi big-ish actor, someone we've seen before, like strolls on screen, we've seen nothing, and everyone falls over dead. Like, you know, like I know I will. I hope they do it just like that. I hope they do it just like that. Someone strolls on like Reed Richards, and then at the end of the movie, the after credit, you meet Sue, you meet Johnny, you meet Ben, and we're all like, you know.
Dude, I will lose my mind.
That. I'm telling you, I thought of that just sitting here in my stupid studio. I'm sure they're thinking of cool stuff. It'll be something cool like that.
Yes.
We can hope. We can hope.
I hope so. Gosh, man. Such a pleasure talking to you. Thanks again I just want to say thank you though for not only doing what you're doing right now, this interview that we're doing, but just thank you for being my guest a few months back. You know, I know you're a busy man. Pleasure. And I truly meant what I said. Like, I feel like I'm just talking to one of my buddies at home. Like, you know, this is I'm like, I used to work at a movie theater, and my buddies also worked it was like one of the best work experiences of my life. We would watch something like X3, which was, and we would just clown it. We would clown it. I mean, isn't
that fun? Isn't that fun? I mean, that's I've been talking to when Cats came out, okay, the movie Cats. So one of our good friends went and saw it 3 times, and I was explaining to the kids, like, no, you don't understand. Sometimes it's a really good bad movie. It can't be boring. It can't be boring, but it can stink up the joint, and you can have fun with it. And at X3, there's an odor. There's an odor. There's a lot of crap in that movie. It's like,
Kelsey Grammer's Beast, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a good fit. Like a lot, like there in the crappiest of the superhero movies, there's moments in there. You know, I haven't seen them. I'm sure there's really good moments in both Venom movies. I have not seen them. I'm sure. Yeah. You're probably purist like me. Like, how does this work without Spider-Man?
Exactly.
It's like, I can't get in there. I'm sorry. In all deference to everyone who may be watching this, who worked on the movie in some way, shape, or form, I can't get in there without Spider-Man. Now, I understand you might try to fix it. I've seen the after credits of Venom 2, and that something's going to happen. Okay, great, fine. I'm ready. I'm ready. Go ahead and fix that. That'll work for me.
I refused. Like I'm not watching that. It doesn't even make any sense. It was just them trying to hold on to the property and just keep on making. I mean, why?
Yeah, it's just some monster movie, and it's like, it's fine. You know, I guess someday I'll watch it on cable at some point, and you know, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe we'll find out. Maybe I don't think it's boring, and I bet it's fun to have fun with it. You know, if you go in, you know, like I saw the first Transformers movie. Not my thing. You know, not really my thing. And, you know, I understand, like, you know, if you're a 10-year-old boy watching the giant robots and whatnot, it's the greatest. And it's like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to watch it, but I understand it's fun. You know, it's not Shakespeare. All I say is forget that's not in Shakespeare. It's you know, it's not any number of the MCU movies. It's not even up there. But anyway, but have some fun. It's okay.
It's okay to have fun. I wanted to ask you real quick about Red Hood, because like before, the ending of Red Hood is it's kind of heartbreaking. So for some people, that might be their first animated heartbreak. What was your first animated heartbreak? Like you watched animated something that made you feel a certain way that brought on emotion.
Let's see. Well, a lot of let's see. There was when I was a kid. There's a stop motion Christmas special. I think it was Nestor the long-eared mule.
Okay, I don't think I remember that.
Oh, Nestor's mom dies in like the first 10 minutes. So I think the story is that Nestor winds up being in the major. I think he helps out Mary, and you know, I don't know if like he's the donkey that they're riding into before Jesus is born or whatever. I can't even remember that part. But I do remember little Nestor, he and his mother, like they were ostracized because he's got these big long ears and they have to go through this blizzard, and his mother protects him. This is a stop motion animated, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay. I'm just setting the scene. One of those. It was one of the batchy ones. And by sunup, she has died. She sheltered her body to protect him from the blizzard, and then she dies. And I was a kid, and I remember being just destroyed watching this. And I remember like watching the rest of it. Like I don't think I ever came back from the fact that, you know, his mom died, and that's also, as we all know, that was a thing. They would often kill off parents a lot in a lot of children's storytelling. Something I always made a point of, like, no, mom and dad, they're okay. They will not die. So that's one off the top of my head. I had to go back to when I was like little, and like you know, Nestor the long-eared mule. His mom died. That was rough. That was rough right there. Other than that, man, there's all kinds of stuff. I was just shattered by Toy Story 3. It took me years to figure out. Actually, I could not figure out why I was crying so hard at the end of Toy Story 3 when Andy gave away all his toys. It took me a while to figure out, because he was ending his childhood. His childhood was ending in this moment. He was giving up his toys and he had to move on. And I realized, oh, that's what it is. I'm a big kid, and the idea of like, oh, now you gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. Like, oh, that's what got to me. That
was hard. That was a hard swallow for me too. I'm gonna say something really obscure. Of course, Transformers, the movie, the '84 movie, when like Prowl and Wheeljack and Ironhide get murked in the first 15 minutes of the film, and then Optimus Prime dies. I mean, like, people don't understand.
You are not the only one who talks about Optimus Prime dying there. You are hardly alone. It was unexpected and devastating.
Nobody saw it coming because there was no internet to spoil anything.
Right.
and something really obscure. There was this cartoon called Brave Star. Do you remember Brave Star?
Yeah. I think I know that. Yeah.
It was made by Filmation, the same guys who did Masters of the Universe and Ghostbusters. Not Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters, the one with the ape and that same company. Right. But Brave Star, there was like a drug episode, and it was this drug. I forgot the name of the drug, but they will pour it in the palm of your hand, and it'll be absorbed like this, and you can kind of see the kid. The animation is really crazy. It's on YouTube, and they show him overdose. And I'm a kid. I'm like, what am I watching? And I will never ever forget that. But
sometimes I like to think we're a little bit better now that we understand. Like, there's a line in the storytelling where, you know, that's just like shocking and hurtful, and you know, and someone would say like, I think that might be too much. And it's like, a lot of times I think back then people just were not paying attention, and also not really thinking about kids. You know, there's something to be doing in an all ages story. and you have to figure out, you can have people die, you can have great loss and great injury, but there's a way of doing it where it doesn't knock you off, off your horse so hard that you can't, like, I can't get back into the story. I'm so sad. Like, that's what you don't want to do. Yeah. Sometimes it happens. It does.
Yeah. And even with live action stuff, I remember, I said, I'm going to watch this film called $1 Million Baby. I'm going to see what the hype is all about. Okay. Watching it. I'm like, oh.
Spoilers.
Roller coaster
Spoilers.
of emotions.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes. You think $1 Million Baby is a boxing movie. And then and then there's a whole other thing that happens, which I won't tell you about that one. Hold on. One sec, get out. Okay. My children are home.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey.
It's all good. We can wrap. Wait a sec. No, they just want to see what I was doing. Now tell them what I'm doing. We're good. We're good. So,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep you from your kids, but
I'm having a good time, sir. I'm having a good time here. This is a good time.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much, man. So yes, you said just a reminder, the Hilo book is coming out February next year. Is there an exact date?
There is, but I can't remember. I want to say February 16th, maybe. Around there, like second week in February. Okay. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's okay. We got plenty of time. For those of you who don't know, the Hilo series is available everywhere they sell books. The new one comes out next February. I'm working on number 9 right now. Like literally, like right over there. I'm gonna go over here, talk to my kid for 10 minutes, go back to drawing that. And it's a good time. But thank you, sir. It was a pleasure being back here, and congrats and congrats to you, sir. You've been at this for a while. This is a bit of a milestone, right?
Yes, sir. 1 year.
1 year. 1 year. Yeah. So congrats. I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah.
I really am. And this is going to be available on Spotify and on YouTube. And again, thank you so much for taking time to do it. And and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? This is indeed the E-Man. Chill like a villain, sing like Bob Dylan, keep it on low with some double stuff Oreos. And it just occurred to me, I never given an origin story about the special delivery show and how it all started. So it goes back to October of 2020. Nikki Blonsky, who's an actress on Hairspray, I noticed her doing an Instagram live. And this is my first time seeing it, and I had assumed that she had like some kind of special account, some fancy cameras and lighting, but she didn't have any of that. She just had her smartphone. I was like, yo, that's so cool. And she was interviewing a bunch of her celebrity friends. I was like, I don't have any celebrity friends, but I think I could do this. I mean, I know a few people, but not many. Still, that gave me the inspiration right there. So immediately I know I needed help. So I contacted my sister Jackie, and my sister Jacqueline is a genius graphic designer. She makes flyers and church programs and funeral programs, you name it. And so I said, Jackie, I'm thinking about doing a podcast / IG show, and I will need your help for a flyer or two. And she said, okay, just let me know. Cool. So just to go back, a few months prior, Dawn from En Vogue, Dawn Robinson from En Vogue, formerly of En Vogue, and Lucy Pearl, I followed her on Instagram and she followed me back. I was like, cool, this is great. So I just communicated with her every so often. Sometimes she would reply back, sometimes she wouldn't. So I established some kind of a rapport with her. So one day I got bold and I said, hey, Dawn, I'm really thinking about doing a podcast / show of some kind. Would you be my first guest? And she said, well, once you get the kinks out, once you get the equipment, let me know. That's all I needed. I just needed that little bit of hope, guys. That's all I needed, and I got it. So I noticed she was doing some Instagram live interviews. And so I said, all I have is my phone right now. That's all I need. Hey, would you be down to do an Instagram live interview? And she said, sure. December 10th, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do you think? And I said, yes, absolutely. And she gave me that message about, 2 or 3 in the morning, because she lives in Vegas. And I was so excited. I texted my sister Jackie at 4 in the morning. I said, Jackie, I have an interview lined up. It's with Dawn Robinson, formerly of En Vogue, and I'm going to need a flyer. It's going to be at 7 o'clock on December 10th. And she replied back a few hours later because she was asleep when I texted her. And she said, okay, cool, sure. So I got to give a shout out to Jackie, man, because Jackie, she ended up making all my flyers. But that specific flyer, man, and I saw it and how she did it, the dream was coming into fruition. You know, it made it tangible. You know, seeing that flyer, I almost cried. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So okay, December 10th rolls around, and to be honest with you guys, I was a nervous wreck. I was second guessing myself. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't have any media training. I'm interviewing a legend here. Am I crazy? Am I really doing this? I work at a grocery store and I work at McDonald's. I was really second guessing myself, guys. Then I remembered. First of all, my sister Jackie already made the flyer. Okay, she took her time to do that. And Dawn agreed to it as well. And she was still down to do it. And I said, I can't stop now. So 7 o'clock hit, man, and I just remember being so nervous, but I was so excited at the same time. And the interview was beautiful, guys. We talked about everything from her story, Michael Jackson, Christmas. We talked about Romper Room. We talked about just life. It was a beautiful interview, guys. And I gotta thank Dawn, man, because that interview right there gave me the confidence to keep moving and keep going. And it also opened the door for other interviews. Tahja Norman, my second interview, saw that interview because my cousin let her know about it. Shout out to Andre. And she wanted me to interview her. And so I said, yes, absolutely. And that's how it started. Now, the name Special Delivery, the idea, it was something that popped into my head because Dawn asked me, you know, what's the name of your show? I said, I don't want to. In my head, I'm like, I'm not going to call it the Emmanuel Show. It's not about me. I said, Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers growing up. Mr. McFeely was one of my favorite characters, and he would always say, speedy delivery. I said, what about special delivery? Okay, yes. And God gave me the vision. He said, you got to give a person their flowers while they're still here. And with each guest, that's what I try to do. I want to show them that they're appreciated. I don't ask any invasive questions. Okay, that's not my goal. Okay, the special part goes back to kindergarten when I was chosen to bring a snack to class, and I was scared because I didn't think anybody was going to like the cookies I brought them because they were the cheap peanut butter cookies. But my mom told me, don't worry, they're going to love them. And the teacher called me in front of the class and said, Emmanuel has a special treat for everybody. And I passed them out and the kids loved them. Nobody threw away a cookie. And I never forget that feeling of, wow, I brought something to the table that everybody liked. And that's what I want to do with this podcast. I want to be that something that people look forward to when they're drinking their coffee or when they're taking a road trip or when they're jogging their mile. I want to be that. So I want to thank all of my future listeners, all of my listeners right now, all of my visionaries, everybody. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the show. And I got so much more coming for you in 2022. Thank you and peace.